Right now at 6 o'clock, calls for federal action to protect children and families from another possible baby formula shortage. We'll tell you just how much one of our U.S. senators is calling for.
5 officers accused in connection to the Randy Cox case are expected to appear remotely before a judge today.
Also breaking overnight, First Republic Bank sold over the weekend. We'll tell you what regulators are saying this morning. Let's get started with the news at 6.
All local, all morning. This is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
It is 6 o'clock. Good Monday morning to you. Thanks for being with us. Hopefully you had a great weekend. We're glad you're here, America Arias.
And I'm Tim Lammers. Are you sick of the rain at this point? Because boy, we've gotten a lot of rain. Boy.
We're getting more of it, I think.
Yeah, Matt Scott, we just seem to be stuck in a pattern.
Wow, really setting it up nicely for me on this Monday. Yeah. Good morning to you. The first week of May is going to look a lot like the last week of April did, in that it's very drippy, very unsettled, and yeah, there's a few cracks of some rain and some subpar temperatures too. Other than that, how was the show? No, it was fine. Some rain, a little morning fog, not a big deal, but there are a few patches out there. If we get some limited sunshine today, grab it, hold on to it, because I don't see much for the week ahead, which is going to be drippy at best thanks to an upper level disturbance. There's just a little bit of rain left in the picture on the radar, stretching from Windsor Locks down into just the northern fringe of New London County. I'll put the loop in motion and you can see the general trend of that is moving from south to north. We don't see a lot left down here, maybe a couple of isolated drips, but for the most part, the bulk of the rain from yesterday, last night, overnight, a couple of heavy rain downpours in there, pretty much done. Temperatures are warm thanks to the thick clouds out there. 48 to 57 is your spread. 57 right now in the capital city with the winds out of the west and northwest barely, but it has a little breeze to it, 5 to 17 miles an hour. All right, so with the clouds, temperatures not moving up too much, and so we're not going to look for much in the way of a warm up. 55 now, 60 later on as the high schoolers get off the bus later this afternoon. We'll time out this rain, show you why it's continuing to come down this week and what the work week has. Come on back for that in a few minutes. Let's check the roads, see what the wet roads are doing to the road warriors out there. For the first time I can say, good morning, Lauren Zenzi.
Good morning, Matt Scott. Good morning, everyone. Hopefully everyone had a good weekend. We do have one crash that we're following. This is down in Fairfield County, down in Darien. This is on the northbound side of I-95, right between exits 12 and 13, and now they're saying that it's actually going past exit 12 at this point. The right lane is closed at this time. We do know it is a tractor trailer and another vehicle involved. We're hoping that everybody's okay. But as soon as we hear anything else from Connecticut State Police, we'll bring it to you here on air. Taking a live look out in Meriden, things are looking good right now. Smooth sailing over on 691. We did have a closure over in Meriden. We're going to have an update from this crash. It was a two-car crash that happened at about 9:30 last night. That closure lasting through the early hours this morning. Taking a look at our Hartford drive times, 91, 84, Route 2, all looking good. We do have some road work out in Waterbury. That is set to clear coming up in the next half hour. We'll check in again on the roads coming up at 6:30. For now, Tim and Erica, back over to you.
All right, Lauren, thanks so much. Happening this morning, there's going to be greater calls for more federal funding to prevent infant formula shortages.
Yeah, it comes more than a year now after that nationwide shortage that left a lot of parents and caregivers struggling to find formula.
Fox 61's Angela Bavaro is joining us here in the studio now with more details on what one is calling for.
Erica, Tim, good morning. Yeah, lots of people impacted by this issue. Senator Richard Blumenthal and several other lawmakers, they are calling for $20 million for the FDA to support infant health programs and oversight of the baby formula industry. Now, in response to that nationwide shortage last year, Congress did pass the Access to Baby Formula Act, and that gave the USDA permanent authority to respond in the event of a product recall or supply chain disruptions. It also provides the special supplemental nutrition program for women, infants, and children, greater flexibilities in the event of those shortages. The FDA also weeks ago laying out, take a look, efforts to help improve the safety and the supply of infant formula following that recall last year. That includes working with manufacturers to strengthen the supply chain and increase supply, working with stakeholders to develop a strategy to prevent the illness that was linked to that Abbott recall, enhancing inspection training of facilities, and conducting an internal evaluation of the FDA infant formula response. that press conference with the senator, that is set for 9:30 this morning in North Haven. Erica and Tim, I will send things back to you.
Angelo, thank you. Well, happening today in New Haven, 5 officers charged in connection to the Randy Cox case are expected to appear in a remote court hearing. All 5 officers have pleaded not guilty to the charges against them. Cox was paralyzed after being hurt in the back of a prisoner transport van last June. Officers Oscar Diaz, Jocelyn Laviander, Ronald Presley, Luis Rivera, and Sergeant Betsy Seguin have all been charged with reckless endangerment in the 2nd degree and also cruelty to persons. Well, meantime, one person hurt in a shooting in Manchester, and this morning police are out there searching for a suspect. The shooting happened yesterday at a home on Seaman Circle. Police say one witness told officers that 2 cars drove off from the scene after there were reports of shots fired. Police say one person who arrived at Hartford Hospital with a gunshot wound is believed to be connected to the shooting. Anyone with information should give Manchester police a call. And in Hartford, a 30-year-old man was hospitalized after he was shot. Police say they were called to the area of 2 Congress Street just after 2:30 Sunday morning. We're told the victim was located in the area of Retreat and Maple Avenues. Officers say the man's injuries were non-life-threatening.
State police said they need help identifying a pedestrian who was hit and killed by a car in Middletown. Officers said the man was walking on Route 9 South near exit 10 at about 3:45 a.m. yesterday when the collision happened. Police said the driver stayed on the scene to help. The victim later died at Hartford Hospital. So here's what we know about him. He was between 5'6" and 5'8", a white man, stocky, with black hair, brown eyes, and a full red beard. He was wearing a white National Geographic t-shirt, as well as blue jeans and white Nike Air low-top sneakers. He had no scars, tattoos, or otherwise identifying marks. So please call the state police if you think you know who he is. This afternoon in Norwalk, a public wake will be held for Stu Leonard Sr. He's the founder of the Stu Leonard's grocery store chain. He passed last week at the age of 93. Today's wake is being held from 3 to 7 p.m. at St. Matthew's Church on Scribner Avenue in Norwalk.
On to Bloomfield now, where a car crashed into a home. There were people inside of it when it happened. This happened on Elizabeth Avenue Saturday night. Bloomfield police say there was minor damage to the house and the car. The 2 people inside the car were both taken to the hospital with some injuries. They are expected to be okay, though. And to Waterbury now, where police say a man died after a 2-car crash early Saturday morning. It happened between a pickup truck and a sedan just before 2 a.m. The driver of the pickup truck, 26-year-old Calvin Mackley of Bristol, was pronounced dead on the scene. The passenger was taken to the hospital with minor injuries. Meanwhile, a 31-year-old woman who was 31-year-old woman who was the driver remains in critical condition, while the passenger in the car with her is expected to be okay.
A 9-year-old girl is still in the hospital this morning after being badly hurt in a 2-car crash Friday in Groton. It was a crash that actually killed another person, 30-year-old Crystal Linsky of Mystic. It happened on Route 84 just before 6:30. Now, both the young girl and her mother were taken to hospitals. The mom is expected to recover, but the girl is still in critical condition at Yale New Haven Children's. Police are still investigating the crash. Today in East Hartford, the Department of Energy and Environmental Protection will introduce a new air quality monitoring vehicle. And it's good timing because it is Air Quality Awareness Week. DEP said the vehicle will be able to measure the levels of at least 16 air pollutants in real time. We'll learn more about it at today's announcement, scheduled for 10 a.m. in East Hartford.
Happening today in South Windsor, there's going to be a ribbon cutting ceremony for the town's newly constructed COVID-19 memorial today. It's happening on the Major Michael Donnelly Land Preserve. And the ceremony is going to take place at the preserve on Sullivan Avenue this afternoon at 3:30.